Hello friends, I'm Vishnu Gupta. I hope you all are safe at your own places. So I'll be presenting this solution to heat transfer question series 1.1. Here is the GATE syllabus that is updated for GATE 2021. This is for 2021. Syllabus has been little bit updated. You can go and check. So this is the first question. The non-dimensional temperature gradient at wall of flat plate in fluid is called by which number? So we'll derive and see what is it coming, the non-dimensional temperature gradient, what do we call that number. So let us suppose there is a flat plate over which there is a fluid passing by which has a free stream velocity of u infinity and a temperature of T infinity, and let's say the length of the plate is L and this is the direction of Y perpendicular to the flow. This direction is perpendicular to the flow of the fluid. So if we want to understand the phenomena of heat transfer on a flat plate, so let us assume that this is the wall temperature Tw of the plate and there is a free stream temperature that is T infinity of the fluid, and let's say there is any temperature within the fluid when the fluid comes in contact with the flat plate. So this is a variable temperature T. Tw is the wall temperature, that means the temperature of flat plate at the surface. Now if you want to understand the phenomena of conduction and convection at the wall, so at steady state the amount of heat conducted, this is Tw. So obviously let us assume that Tw is greater than T infinity. So when Tw is greater than T infinity, so the fluid coming in this direction will be heated by the energy supplied by the flat plate. So in this case, if you see at the surface, the heat transfer phenomena will be conduction. That means that heat transfer will take place due to conduction. But within the fluid medium, when it is moving, the process of convection also will come into the action. Why? Because the heat conducted at the surface has to be transported in this direction, and this direction heat is transported through the phenomena called convection. So convection includes both conduction and the energy transport parallel to this direction, and that energy transport is called as advection. So energy is being transported in this direction due to conduction, and in this direction perpendicular to this flat plate is being transported due to advection. So these two phenomena are taking place simultaneously. So at steady state we can say that heat conducted in this direction, in the direction of Y, it should be equal to heat convected perpendicular to the direction of Y. So let us, by assuming this at steady state, let us write the conduction equation as this is at the wall, conduction at the wall, and it's also equal to the convection in the perpendicular direction. So this is what our assumption is, that at this wall the conduction is equal to the convection heat transport. So if we can define a non-dimensional temperature called theta with T minus Tw and T infinity minus Tw and Y bar as the non-dimensional length scale, which is Y over L. So by replacing theta and Y in this equation, if you rearrange and put it here in this equation and rearrange, you will get del theta over del Y bar K times 1 over L is equal to H. So you see, you can rearrange. How you can rearrange? Let us rewrite it as minus K times del T minus TW. So this temperature is written like this. If you take the del, this is a constant value, wall temperature, this will go off, and replace TW minus T infinity here using this. So if you rearrange, this negative sign will adjust here and it will become T infinity minus TW. So this will become T infinity minus, this will become plus T infinity minus TW, and this Y can be written as del of Y bar into L is equal to H. So again from here if you see, so this will become K, and this whole scenario becomes theta, del theta of, and this Y bar, and L will come out here H. So if you rearrange again, so del theta over del Y bar should be equal to HL by K. So if you know that this number is called Nusselt number, this number is called HL by K, where L is the length scale, H is the heat transfer coefficient, and K is the thermal conductivity of the fluid. Okay, so in that way you can say that here if you see we have a non-dimensional temperature gradient. So theta is a non-dimensional temperature scale that we have defined, and Y bar is a length scale. So any quantity divided by length scale is, or a space coordinate, is called gradient. Here we have a non-dimensional temperature and a non-dimensional space coordinate Y bar. So this will become non-dimensional temperature gradient, and this is equal to nothing but HL by K. So anywhere Nusselt number is written as HL by K. So this is our derivation. So in this way you can write that non-dimensional temperature gradient at wall of a flat plate in fluid is called the Nusselt number. Okay, let's move to the next question. The question is, Chilton-Colburn analogy is applicable when there is. So here is the relation of Chilton-Colburn analogy, where F is the friction drag, which is equal to Stanton number and Prandtl number raised to the power 2 by 3. So here in this equation you will not see this is only a friction drag. This is called friction drag. There is no form drag expression in this equation, and form drag comes due to delta P. So in this equation there is no delta P here, so there is no form drag. Only friction drag is used to calculate the friction. That is why we don't use form drag. Form drag comes when delta P is used. There is no delta P used here, so that is why our answer will be friction drag only. Now what is the Reynolds analogy for heat and mass transport correlation? When is it applicable? So you have seen previously that we have a equation of Chilton-Colburn is equal to F by 2, this is friction drag, is equal to Prandtl raised to the power 2 by 3. So whenever Prandtl number becomes equal to 1, so this equation reduces to F by 2 is equal to Stanton number, and this is called Reynolds analogy. This is called Reynolds analogy. So it is very simple that whenever Prandtl number is equal to 1, this will go equal to 1, and this will simply become F by 2 is equal to, and this is called Reynolds analogy. So this is option number 3, when Prandtl number is equal to 1, this Reynolds analogy of heat and mass transport is applicable. Now here is a very nice question for you. Just try to see how we apply the concepts. Consider a flow of fluid over a heated plate. Curve 1 and curve 2 corresponds to temperature gradient in fluid due to boundary layer formation. You can see here there is a temperature distribution, and here also a temperature distribution. At Reynolds number 1 and Reynolds number 2, here the velocity is, and the Reynolds number is RE1. The Reynolds number is RE1, and here the Reynolds number is RE2. That means here some velocity U1, here some velocity U2, corresponding to thermal boundary layer thickness delta T1 and delta T2. So this is the delta T1 thermal boundary thickness, and this is delta T2 corresponding to RE1 and RE2. So obviously you can see this relationship is given that delta T1 is greater and T2 is smaller. So this thickness is smaller, which is achieved only, see here in block letters, whenever in gate paper block, that means that is it wants to specifically say something, some message, that means only this by changing the velocity of fluid. So only by changing the velocity of fluid flow, keeping all other physical properties constant, what conclusion is possible for RE1 and RE2. So here you have to find the conclusion. The conclusion is whether RE1 is greater or RE2 is greater, RE1 is less or RE2 is less, or it should be equal or none. So this was the option given in the question. So you have to see which is the correct option. So here if you see now, you know from that relationship of hydrodynamic boundary layer and Reynolds number that it is related inversely like this, and there is also relationship between hydrodynamic boundary layer thickness and thermal boundary layer thickness, something like this. So from this relation we see that these two are directly proportional, del by del T is directly proportional. So you can also say that del of thermal is inversely proportional to Reynolds number. So if you see that it is saying that this is achieved only by changing the velocity, okay, so it is saying only by changing the velocity. So in this case if you see delta T1 to delta T2, the thickness has decreased, and there is an inverse relationship between delta T, that means thermal boundary layer thickness with Reynolds number. So the thickness has been decreased and there is an inverse relation. That means what is the conclusion with respect to velocity or Reynolds number directly? Thickness is decreasing, that means Reynolds number must have been increased, then only thickness will decrease. So here this is the relationship, and you will find this kind of so many questions coming in the gate examination where only you have to use your aptitude. Things will be very very simple, but only your aptitude they will check. So here you have to see that thickness of thermal boundary layer thickness is going to decrease, and that decrease is why, because there is a indirect relationship between the thermal boundary layer thickness and Reynolds number. Since this is decreasing, this Reynolds number must increase. So what is the conclusion? That RE2 must be greater than RE1. So this is the correct conclusion about RE1 and RE2. Okay, so let us move to the next question. Here we have a very very interesting question with respect to shell and tube heat exchanger. Let us see. In a shell and tube heat exchanger, for a given mass flow rate of hot fluid on tube side, the number of tubes per pass has been decreased by. So here also friends, you see only this term is in block letters, and you will find this type of specification in gate examination only. Also just like in previous question also this was mentioned in block, here also it is mentioned in block. So this type of questions are very very, this you have to focus why it is giving only, that means all other parameters are constant, only increasing the number of passes on the tube side. How does the heat transfer coefficient change? The following equation is applicable. So this is the equation given. Nusselt is equal to 0.023, Reynolds raised to the power 0.8 and Prandtl 0.33. So what is your conclusion? Whether heat transfer coefficient will increase, decrease, remain same, depends on the value of the Prandtl number. So let us solve this question. Now you see Nusselt number is nothing but HD by K in case of a heat exchanger, that means a pipe. So HD by K and 0.023, and this will become Reynolds 0.8 and Prandtl raised to the power 0.33. Now here important thing is only increasing the number of passes on the tube side. So what happens in this case? Let us suppose there is a heat exchanger, and what are the components? The components are that there is a shell side fluid flowing and there is a tube side. This is the tubes inside the shell, they are kept, and these tubes are fitted on a tube sheet on the both side. So generally whenever you come across a shell and tube heat exchanger, the specification sometimes you will see 1 and 2 shell and tube heat exchanger. What does this mean? This means that one times it passes through the cell side, that means the cell side fluid passes once, that means it enters here at inlet and it passes through the outlet. That's all. That is called one side. So this is one cell side, one time it passes. What is 2? 2 is 2 times in the tube side. That means what happens, the tube side has been divided into 2 parts. That means once the inlet in the tubes and it returns back through this, so it passes 2 times inside the tubes. So this is called 2 tube side pass. Now we can increase the number of tubes in one side pass or decrease the number of tubes. So here it is saying that number of tubes per pass has been decreased, and by how this number of per pass has been decreased, by keeping the mass flow constant. Mass flow rate is constant for a given, that means mass flow rate is given and this is constant, mass flow rate is constant, and number of tubes per pass has been decreased. If you decrease the number of tubes, obviously you have to increase the number of passes. Suppose now from 2 passes to you are taking it to 1 times 1 cell side and 4 times tube sides. That means now you are decreasing the number of tubes in one pass and increasing the number of passes. So you have to adjust. Either number of tubes you can increase by decreasing the passes, or you can decrease the number of tubes per pass and increase the number of passes. So I think you are getting my point, that if you increase the number of passes for a given mass flow rate, that means you are decreasing the number of tubes per pass. But if you are similarly you can do vice versa also. So here it is saying that this is number of tubes has been decreased by increasing the number of passes. So let us understand this, how this is going to affect the heat transfer coefficient. Now if you see, mass flow rate is nothing but rho A into V. So this value is constant, that means the processing fluid mass flow rate is constant, that means total amount of inlet and outlet are same, that means mass flow rate is constant, that is given. So density is also constant. But what is happening, when you are decreasing the number of tubes per pass, the effective area of heat transfer is decreasing. So what you have to do, if effective number of area of heat transfer is decreasing, to keep this value constant, since this is also constant and area has been decreased because number of tubes per pass has been decreased, so what you have to do, you have to increase the velocity. The velocity will increase by this. So when velocity is increased, what can you conclude? So what will be the effect of increased velocity on Reynolds number? Reynolds number is going to increase. So when velocity is increased, Reynolds number is also going to increase. So here H is the heat transfer coefficient. We have to find relationship between H and Reynolds number. So if you see, H is directly proportional to Reynolds number raised to the power 8. So we have found out that Reynolds number is going to increase. So if you compare this two, you can see that since Reynolds number is going to increase, heat transfer coefficient is directly proportional and heat transfer coefficient is also going to increase. So our option will be that heat transfer coefficient will increase. So this is our conclusion, and we have covered 5 questions in this series, and this is how you have to understand. So if you like this session, this type of learning for GATE preparation, like, share and subscribe to my channel on Telegram and YouTube, KME Engineering Online. Stay safe and practice very hard for GATE examination. So this is how you have to apply your common sense and logic to solve these questions. See, these questions does not involve very great mind. The only thing you have to use, apply your aptitude knowledge. Thank you very much for watching this.